The Las Vegas Strip, as today the SFL invades Sin City. Silver State Stadium in Las Vegas is rocking for this one as Week 9 continues with a battle in the West Division between the Sioux Sparrows coming in 1-7, 0-1 in conference, and taking on Las Vegas Fury at 3-5, 1-0 in conference. Welcome inside the broadcast booth. I'm Jeff Melanishin and my broadcast partner Brett Solberg. As both teams are coming in with losses from last week. Sioux Falls lost 15-10 to Carolina, while Vegas fell to Atlanta 31-17. And Brett, the playoffs are approaching, and both teams coming off a loss. This is essentially a must-win game.
When you look at previous seasons before with 12 teams coming in, the magic number I've deducted to get in the playoffs is 6 wins. And right now, Sioux Falls far away from it, and Las Vegas inching themselves closer and closer as we speak. But for both teams, absolutely, it is a must-win situation no matter what to get themselves back into the thick of things in the playoff hunt, and as well as getting their offenses going. Both teams have been kind of off and on with their offenses so far. Both Joseph Green and Julian Tyree just not finding their way so far. They're hoping that this week will be kind of a change of fortune for them, but nonetheless, it's going to be one exciting game, Jeff.
Yeah, for some of the players to watch in this one, for Sioux Falls to have a big game, who are you going to be looking at, or who do you think is going to take that step to get the victory for them here in this one in Las Vegas?
It's so tough to say because both Julian Tyree and Colin Hart are having a tough time just trying to get themselves going in this last couple of weeks here, but it all starts and stops with the quarterback. So Tyree needs to get himself going in this game to sharpen up Sioux Falls' offense.
And then on the flip side for Las Vegas, give the viewers watching on YouTube a little bit of what who you think is going to be for the player of the game, or who needs to step up for Las Vegas to get the win in this one.
It's just one guy that I can think of right away. It's Scott Johnson. He's the guy who's going to get you 100-plus yards every game, and he's going to need that and more to get Las Vegas going.
Las Vegas will start with the ball first, and appreciate Justin Rasai doing the stats for us from the stats truck, making us sound smarter than what we really are, as it's going to be Joseph Green to start with the ball first. And what are the keys for Joseph Green and the Vegas Fury offense?
Basically, when you have a rookie quarterback like Joseph Green, he's starting to slowly develop his skills as we go along through the season, but he still has to remember one thing, that he's got to stay patient and composed throughout the whole game to give Las Vegas a chance.
Going to be Green under center. The lefty's going to swing it out, as it's going to be Scott Johnson with the reception. He will pick up 5 yards, and then he'll be brought down by Axel Raven on the outside.
Yeah, and that's a good way to start things off. You want to get Joseph Green started off with a completed pass, and you want to get Scott Johnson the ball, so why not go with a swing pass to the right side and let Scott Johnson do his work there. 5 yards is a good gain, sets up a second and medium.
Corners backing off about 7 yards off the receivers for Las Vegas, but they're going to give it to Johnson, trying to get to the near side. He will be tackled down by Nick Fargo, and it's going to be 3rd down and 1. We'll get the starters for Las Vegas real quick. Joseph Green, the quarterback, the halfback Scott Johnson, the fullback A-Star Marimanis, as the receiving core is John Blades, Mason Kirby, Doug Britton, and the tight end Tiberius Bovine. And on 3rd down and 1, defensive line adjusting. Linebackers look like they're going to bring some pressure as well. We'll see if they actually do. They will, as Johnson's going to be hit in the backfield and drop for a loss of 3 on the play.
And I think that Las Vegas should have known that Sioux Falls was going to apply pressure on the run here with that last second down play. They applied the right amount of pressure, just Scott Johnson got away from them. This time they went with run again, and Sioux Falls once again went with that rushing attack and got to Scott Johnson really quick there. Now it's a 3-and-out for Las Vegas.
Buck Behemoth getting his 7th tackle on the season and his 3rd tackle for loss, and that's a big one, as Sioux Falls almost getting there with the block. But they forced the 3-and-out on the opening drive, and now their first drive as Levy spending out of tackles on the return, and will pick up just maybe about 7 yards on the return. But here we go with the Sioux Falls Sparrows on offense, and Julian Tyree leading them out. He's got 1,763 passing yards on the season, 6 touchdowns, 24 interceptions, Brett.
Yeah, and that's been a big thing from Julian Tyree so far in this season, is that he's not finding his passes properly, and it's led to a lot of interceptions. He had 4 in the last game.
Split back in the backfield behind Tyree, who's under center. Going to give it to Hart. And going up the middle will pick up a gain of 4 on the play as the starters for Sioux Falls, Tyree, the quarterback, Hart is the running back, Charlemagne Cornelius, the fullback, and the receiving core, Gunnar Lewis, Noe Terrazas, L. Delapre Sr., K. Marion, and then you got the center, Nathan Fury, and the guard, Dusty Wilson. Defensive line adjusting for Las Vegas on 2nd and 6. Tyree from under center, quick throw underneath, and that is going to be caught by Gunnar Lewis, and it's going to be a yard short of the first down and sticks.
Yeah, and it's Gunnar Lewis has been a very favorite option for Julian Tyree over the last couple weeks. Lewis had 7 receptions for 66 yards in their loss last week. So we're going to see a lot of healthy doses of Gunnar Lewis in this game as well, it looks like.
As Carolina, London, you see the score up on the left side of the scoreboard. And there goes Colin Hart down the sideline inside the 40. And a huge gain and gets down to the Las Vegas 37-yard line before he's pushed out of bounds.
An absolutely fantastic way to flip the field is just give it to Colin Hart, especially when he's in the mood that he's been in this past week after a very disappointing 20 yards on the ground. That's got to lift his spirits. Just getting this run to start off this game for Sioux Falls, flipping the field, getting in enemy territory, that is a big and great start for Sioux Falls.
Max Jackson playing center field and pushing Hart out of bounds, as they're going to go with a split in the backfield, and that's going to be a handoff, but no gain on the play, and he will be tackled down, Hart will, by Eric Davis. The starters for Las Vegas on defense, the defensive line, you got Mike Baker, Rhett Sawyer, A.K. Jones, and Christopher Colon. On the defensive line, linebackers Eric Davis, Slyn Shady. Secondary, Chris Magel, Merrick Itera, Nicky Colantrelli, Tom Cree, and Max Jackson. As Tyree's going to throw it out, there's Gunnar Lewis down the sideline, and he's going to get inside the 15 before being pushed out of bounds.
And Gunnar Lewis has a great burst of speed as after he catches the ball. We've seen it a few times this season when he's capable of getting that space that he'll gain the extra set of yards whenever he needs to. And it starts off with a nice and quick pass on an out route from Julian Tyree so that Gunnar Lewis has enough time to turn himself on the sideline and get that catch and keep going. And that's exactly what happened here inside the red zone now with Sioux Falls. So they're threatening big time on this first drive.
Biff Markham and Chad say move those chains. Excellent start to the game for Sioux Falls on offense. Started at around their 35-yard line. Now they're inside the SFL red zone. Tyree dropping back, throwing it to Hart out of the backfield, but he's going to be hit and dropped for a loss of 4 on the play. Not where they wanted to start their first drive, their first possession inside the red zone is Slyn Shady with the tackle for loss.
And that's how we know Slyn Shady in this SFL here is that he likes to pursue the running backs on those swing passes, and he found Colin Hart right away and tackled him right behind the line.
Again, I formation. Hart not getting back to the line of scrimmage on this one. Another TFL for this Las Vegas defense, and Slyn Shady yet again with another big play.
And once again, it's just the pursuit of the running back, knowing when he's going to get the football. And Slyn Shady's doing a fantastic job on just these 2 plays here to set Sioux Falls even further back, setting up a third and very long situation, which Sioux Falls has seen a lot of so far this season.
Empty set, bunch set to the top of the formation for Tyree, throwing it across the middle, off the hands, almost intercepted on the deflection, but it falls incomplete as Chris Magel, the corner, in the vicinity to get the deflection. We've seen a lot of those in the SFL, but this one falls to the turf, and now we'll see a field goal situation.
Yeah, and in SFL, you hear this a lot, hot potato or tip drill, and it's exactly what happened there with 2 defenders around it. Tyree tried to thread the needle there, but unfortunately just couldn't get it to happen. Now Sioux Falls has to kick for 3 instead of getting 6.
We'll see the left-footed kicker, Profontaine, low snap, but they get it off in time through the uprights and good from 37 yards out. So a good first drive for Sioux Falls. They get on the board. It was a 9-play, 34-yard drive, resulting in the field goal as Sioux Falls getting on the board first. So just a good opening drive for Sioux Falls. You know, they took a little bit of life out of the ball as well by running it. They got that big play from Colin Hart, Brett, and now they got the lead 3-0.
Yeah, and basically it was that big Colin Hart run that really set the momentum for them on that drive. And it stalled a little bit after the short TFL runs from Hart, but nonetheless they got 3 points out of it.
As the return by Doug Britton. And now, I mean, Las Vegas, they went 3 and out. Kind of don't want to do this here and then give the ball back to that Sioux Falls offense that just went down on you and put up a field goal.
Yeah, and we all know that Las Vegas loves to run the football with Scott Johnson, but they also need to make it a little bit deceptive. They can't really have it too predictable on that offensive side and basically tell the Sioux Falls defense, hey, we're running this to Scott Johnson, which happened on third down.
2 safeties deep, but they come down as Scott Johnson spin cycle, still on his feet. Dragging defenders for the Sparrows all the way close to the first down marker. Going to be inches shy of it, but it's going to bring up 2nd and inches.
Yeah, and that's we've seen that from Scott Johnson a couple times throughout these last few weeks, just bullying his way through just to get as many yards as he can get. He sheds off a tackle behind the line, then he sheds off another 2 as he gains 3 yards. Exactly what it is. The guy has no quitting in him.
4-down defensive lineman for Sioux Falls, giving it to Johnson. He powers his way past the first down marker as A.J. Levy coming down to get the tackle. We'll get the starters on defense quickly for Sioux Falls. You got the defensive line of Biff Markham. Buck Behemoth already heard his name with a tackle for loss, and James Kelly. Linebackers, Nick Fargo, Derek Williams, and Axel Raven. The secondary, John Barnhart, Terrell Davis, Jay Ringgold, Nathan Barnett, and A.J. Levy. And here we go, 1st down and 10. The first down for Las Vegas in this game, and a quick throw to the near side is going to be caught by John Blades.
And we have it when John Blades is one of those capable guys where if you can catch him deep, he's gonna burn you against any cornerback in the league here. So starting off with a nice out route to the sidelines, get some decent gainage, get that percentage still at 100 for Joseph Green. Keep his confidence going. So not a bad first down play for Las Vegas on this set.
And coming in, 10th in targets, John Blades with 80. That's his 81st, and he makes the reception good for 5 yards. As Green throwing it out of the backfield to Johnson, but he is going to be hit and dropped. The defense coming up big. Axel Raven, the outside linebacker, making the stop. They're going to say that Johnson gained enough for a yard. Again, bring up 3rd and 4.
Yeah, and Axel Raven is kind of the same play style as Slyn Shady on the opposite end here. He loves to get to those running backs as quickly as possible. He had a ton of tackles last week to get his name on the board.
They're going to hand this one off up the middle. And again, Axel Raven, another big tackle as Marimanis getting the carry, but only gaining a yard. And just like that, another punting situation upcoming for Las Vegas as they will punt this one away, try to pin Sioux Falls deep in their own end.
Yeah, I'm not really sure if they should have went with a running play on that 3rd down. I know it was a short situation, and you got to rely on Scott Johnson on certain plays here, but that's the second time they went with a run on 3rd down, and it's failed for them. So maybe the next time they get the ball, they might have to go with pass on a 3rd.
You think maybe a little bit of conservativeness maybe for this Las Vegas team to open this one out and maybe just taking some shots here on the next drive as soon as they get it back, maybe thinking that their defense can get a stop here?
I'm thinking so, because if Sioux Falls has the same exact drive that they had previous to this, it's going to lead to another set of points. So they can't fall behind too quickly against the Sioux Falls team that's very good defensively, especially against the pass. So they need to get their offense going as quickly as possible.
2 receivers to the top of the formation for Tyree, who's under center, looking around, and he's going to be sacked on the play. He broke out of one, but the cavalry comes home for the Fury, as the fans liking what they're seeing after this one, as A.K. Jones getting his first sack of the game.
Yeah, and that's exactly what Las Vegas needed after their offense stagnated a little bit and didn't get them in a good field position. But nonetheless, a great pursuit from both ends, I would have to say, that left A.K. Jones a little bit more open down the middle to get to Tyree as quickly as possible to get that sack. So great job by the defensive line of Las Vegas.
His first full sack of the season for A.K. Jones, coming in with only a half sack on the season. Now it's 1.5 total for the season. Handoff on 2nd down. Going to get those yards back from the sack, as it's going to be Colin Hart with the carry, bringing up 3rd and 10.
Yeah, Hart had to push himself to get those 3 yards, though. So, again, another great job by that defensive line as well as the linebacking core of Las Vegas to pursue Colin Hart as quickly as possible. And Sioux Falls basically back at neutral ground.
Gonna go empty set line, bringing some pressure from
Ooh.
Las Vegas. That one almost caught. They were looking for Gunnar Lewis, but it was broken up. Eric Davis in on the coverage, and here's the 3-and-out that we were talking about, maybe potentially that they were thinking about when they were punting that ball away, and they were able to get it. Defense came up big. A.K. Jones with a sack, and now they're getting the ball back.
Yeah, and it was a great job to fumble the ball out of the hands of Gunnar Lewis from Eric Davis there, because it looked like Lewis had the catch, but it just balled him loose after a nice hit from Eric Davis. And now Sioux Falls, the punters, basically got the 2 punting this football.
Gets it away, and good field position for Las Vegas. Just 2 yards shy of midfield, as Britain's going to be stopped shy of midfield. But here we go. I mean, good starting field position now for Joseph Green and this Las Vegas offense.
Yeah, pretty much starting at a position further than what they've had so far in this first quarter. Just by a great job by the defense to neutralize Sioux Falls' pursuit. So Joseph Green has to be happy about this situation.
Third possession of the game for Las Vegas, and they're going to start with a run of 5 yards to Scott Johnson. And on the tackle was John Barnhart, the corner.
Yeah, and it's a nice run from Johnson on the left side. The offensive line gave him enough space and enough of a gap to get through to get those 5 yards. And 5 yards is basically what you can ask for on a first down, because second and medium, it sets up an open playbook.
The receivers to the top, one receiver down to the bottom for Green, who's going to go under center, has Marimanis and Johnson in the backfield. They're going to give it to Johnson, as he will pick up just 2 yards, as Raven with another big stop. And Scott Johnson's going to start seeing Raven in his nightmares pretty soon.
Yeah, and Axel Raven has gotten to him about the third or fourth time so far in this game, and he's already racking up the tackles here, and he's jumping closer and closer up to the top 15 in the tackles leaderboards. But Scott Johnson, he's going to see a lot of them today.
Green gets rid of it just before he's hit. That one could have been intercepted by Nathan Barnett, but it falls incomplete. But on third down, their second three and out of the game, and they're going to punt this one back.
And that one was a tough one. Joseph Green had his eye set on his receiver. I believe it was going to be John Blades again, but this time he gets hit as he was thrown, so it's a little bit of a duck pass that proceeds, and like you said, that safety almost gets that interception. That could have been a disaster for Las Vegas.
Yeah, he had enough space to turn it upfield, as Dustin McRack will punt this one and field beautifully. They're going to say at the 5, but it looked like he pinned him at the 2. But what do we know? That's why we're up here in the booth. So just like that, I mean, now all of a sudden, Sioux Falls, they're going to have to travel 95 yards if they want a touchdown.
Yeah, it's excellent pursuit of the football by the special teams unit there, highlighted by 39. Look to be there.
Merrick Itera.
There it is. Yeah, just he has the speed for it, and he just manages to get to the football as the ball was going down. So great job of getting the football.
Handoff to Colin Hart. He's been used heavily in this first quarter, and again, picking up 4 yards as you take a look on the screen. 5.3 yards per carry average, as if he continues that, this might take the wind out of the sails for Las Vegas.
Yeah, and if Colin Hart has a successful day, then watch out. We've seen Colin Hart have huge games before, and it just hasn't happened to him yet this season. So it's got to happen soon enough.
There he goes yet again, and he's got a big hole getting past the 20 to around the 21-yard line. Yeah, the 21, and that's going to be first down and 10 for the Sparrows.
And the big key here is that it gets Sioux Falls out of a very sticky situation, being that close to their own end zone, essentially. So great job of giving enough gap for Colin Hart to run through, and he basically turned on the Jets to get as many yards as he could. And now they're basically at touchback zone at this point. So Tyree and Hart and company, they can kind of breathe a sigh of relief now.
40 yards already for Colin Hart. Throwing it. Oh, that one could have been close. That was dangerous. Looking for K. Marion across the middle, but there were two Las Vegas Fury defenders in the vicinity, led by Max Jackson.
Yeah, Max Jackson has been very much involved in this Las Vegas defense so far, and this time gets to K. Marion as quickly as possible to prevent the pass from being completed. So a good job of recognition from Jackson to incomplete that pass.
Bringing up 2nd down and 10, 20 seconds left to go. Throwing it to Hart out of the backfield. Got a good block, spins, and couldn't get out of Max Jackson's tackle. Not a lot of people can, as that's the 83rd tackle for Max Jackson on the season.
Yeah, I got to give credit to Joe Murray on that one, the right tackle that gave enough space for Hart to give that big run.
And that's going to do it for the end of the first quarter from Silver State Stadium in Las Vegas. We'll be back with the second quarter after this. You're watching the SFL on YouTube. Welcome, everybody watching on YouTube. Right now, it's a host of, there's Scott Johnson. I've seen Slyn Shady as well, but really it's been a lot of Sioux Falls in the chat right now to start, and that's going to be thrown across the middle in a 1st down gain. They went to him, and he was in blanket coverage, and now wide open. K. Marion makes the grab.
And K. Marion has been looking for that separation all through the first quarter, as well as the last game as well, as Marion had very little involvement in the last game against Charleston. But this time, Marion, with enough space, gets a nice catch and a nice 1st down for Sioux Falls.
And already this drive started at their own 5-yard line, and now they're at their own 40. Full house in the backfield behind Tyree, giving it to Hart up the middle. He goes, and he will pick up a gain of 6 on the play with Nicky Colantrelli on the tackle.
Yeah, and Colin Hart has been very effective in this Sioux Falls offense. Tyree hasn't had to worry too much about passing the football a lot, especially when you have Colin Hart being basically twice as effective as he was all game last week. So great job by Colin Hart to start this first half.
7th play of the drive. Tyree across the middle, connects again. Marion with another big grab. Gets it to the 38 of Las Vegas.
And it seems to be that slant route that's getting Marion open. Yeah, that's exactly what it is there. A nice little slant, a 3-yard push, and then a slant to the middle of the field that's getting Marion open for those nice catches. This time with a little bit extra coverage, a little bit closer, but a great job to secure the hands, grab that football, and basically hold on to it as Marion was getting tackled. So great catch.
And that's a nice throw by the 12-year vet, Julian Tyree. It's going to be Hart getting some love on this this 1st down play. We'll pick up a small gain of 3. Max Jackson on the tackle. But, man, I mean, this drive started at their own 5. Now they're inside Las Vegas territory.
Yeah, and if you would have started this game, any pundit would have thought that Las Vegas would have their offense going first before Sioux Falls. So a nice little change of direction on this game theme for Sioux Falls.
2 safeties deep, throwing it up, almost caught on the deflection by Colin Hart, but Slyn Shady able to get the deflection down, and that's going to bring up 3rd and 7.
Yeah, and that's a big and risky catch from Julian Tyree, and we've seen a lot of risky throws from him this season, this time with a bevy of offensive and defensive players. It almost seemed like he was hoping for anyone to catch it at this point, but looks to me that Tyree's going to go empty shotgun on this one.
Looking to pick up the 3rd down, throwing it, floating it. That one could have been picked off. Dangerous throw, Merrick Itera, who knows exactly what to do with interceptions, and balls thrown his way doesn't really ever hit the ground that much, but it does here as Tyree now playing with fire a little bit. It looked like maybe was trying to get that to Bovine. Should have probably been caught, but it falls incomplete.
Yeah, and I didn't really like that pass from Tyree there. That was kind of one of those arcing end of sideline end zone kind of throws, I would say, but throwing it at the 34, a little bit risky, I would say. So then a lot of defenders basically got to that football. So not a decent decision from Tyree.
Yeah, mixed up the tight ends for the teams there. That was actually Rod Tidwell. And then another good punt. We are seeing special teams come up big in this one. Already seen a couple down inside the 20 for Las Vegas. And here the punter, Max Maholt, pins Vegas down inside their own 10.
Yeah, it's kind of like feeding the other team their own medicine situation here, because you saw Sioux Falls pinned to their own 5-yard line, and this time Las Vegas is pinned at their 5. It's going to be interesting what Las Vegas does here.
Miramontes and Johnson in the backfield, and there goes Scott Johnson, and he gets to the 20 on 1 yard. Ringgold saving the touchdown because Scott Johnson would still be running.
Yeah, that's exactly it, because Scott Johnson has been waiting for that opportunity to get a big gain, because he's been relatively quiet in this first quarter, with Sioux Falls basically keeping an eye on him throughout the entirety of that first 11 minutes. But this time, Scott Johnson gets plenty of space and gets himself basically out of risky territory. So a great run from Scott Johnson.
4-down defensive lineman bringing pressure off the edge from the linebackers. And that's going to be a tackle for loss, as Miramontes not able to get back to the line of scrimmage, and loss of 2 on the play, and a big tackle. I like that play call. John Barnhart coming from his corner spot.
Yeah, and sometimes you need a corner to kind of just blitz that line a little bit to get to either the quarterback or the running back. This time, Barnhart gets to Scott Johnson right away, causes a loss of 2 yards, and sets up a 2nd and long.
Linebackers adjusting before the snap as Green gets rid of it, but it falls off the hands and incomplete, as the receiver couldn't make the grab. That was Kurt Kling, the tight end.
Yeah, and that's one of the backup tight ends that we see here. And sometimes they aren't completely ready to grab the football. They're usually not one of the first options in a lot of offenses. So maybe he was a little bit nervous after getting that football. So just very unfortunate.
Yeah, 3-0 is the score. Sioux Falls on top of Las Vegas early in the second quarter. Throwing it deep into triple coverage is Green, and lucky that one hits the turf as Terrell Davis was back there and 2 other Sparrows defenders.
Yeah, and Terrell Davis, he's looking to pick up where he left off in the last Charleston game. He had 2 interceptions and a pick 6 along to go with that, and yeah. Keeping his eyes basically on Mason Kirby as well as Doug Britton as they were kind of crossing in between each other, and Davis gets his hands on the football, just couldn't manage to just snag it completely. So once again, another 4th down punting situation for Las Vegas after what you thought possibly could be getting out of the schneid after that Scott Johnson run.
Oh yeah, and that run was big, and then all of a sudden 3 plays and it's a punt, as it's going to be around the 40-yard line for Levy, and he's just going to be tackled down. So McRack with a good punt, and now Sioux Falls coming back out onto the field, and we've seen a couple back-to-back punts here. So if you are new to the SFL, the Simulation Football League combines traditional sports, esports, and a role-playing game all into one. Team strategies are being executed in real time by our simulations as real-life players compete on the virtual gridiron. For more information about the SFL, visit the website at simulationfl.net. The SFL, we put the fan in fantasy, is Tyree throwing that one to the turf. And A.K. Jones looking to get his 2nd sack on the game, and it just came up maybe a couple seconds too short.
And so far, both defenses have stepped up big time against each other here, and it's been very much a defensive dogfight to start this game. So if you're a defensive lover, this is the game you got to watch here right now.
4-down defensive lineman for Las Vegas. Looks like they're going to bring pressure off the edge. They do, but Hart goes up the middle and will pick up just 1 on the play, as Slyn Shady coming in with his 4th tackle of the game, and he has 2 for a loss, but that one, positive yards for Colin Hart, a gain of 1.
Yeah, and you'll take positive yards at this point just to get yourself inching closer and closer, especially with these 2 defenses playing so well so far in this game. So some defense has to crack at some point.
Tyree across the middle. That one will be caught, but it's going to be 1 yard short of the line to gain. Dillapuri Sr. with the reception. And just like that, 3 and out for Sioux Falls.
It's very quick 3 and out for Sioux Falls, essentially. They tried to get themselves going 3 plays that seemed very, very quick. And it looks like they're going to try to jump the defense here to see if they can get a free 1st down. We're going to have to see their discipline. Oh, and there it is.
Good get it. Hart out of the backfield. Good call. And that's going to be into Las Vegas territory. They'll for sure probably take the play over the 5 yards.
Yeah, I think they got more yards than they did with the penalty. So yeah, they're going to decline it, and now fresh set of downs. What a great play call from Sioux Falls there to get Las Vegas from jumping. That it doesn't happen all that often on those fourth down situations, especially in the first half. So it's a great thing to see.
More importantly, keeping the drive alive, and I like the gutsy play call here in the second quarter, especially in a tight game where it's 3-0, and just any big play or any play could potentially turn into a bigger play with how close it is. And there's Tyree threading the needle down the line, and a catch made by Gunnar Lewis on the slant route.
Yeah, and there's his favorite target so far in these last couple weeks, Gunnar Lewis and Tyree. You got to give credit to him as he looks back and he finds Lewis open. He's got to thread it between essentially 4 defenders. You can see it. There was Max Jackson. I saw Merrick Itera there. There was a bevy of corners and safeties all around Gunnar Lewis, and he pinpoints the catch. Just an excellent throw from Tyree.
The 6th play of the drive. And it's going to be first down and 10 inside the SFL red zone. Tyree throwing it underneath. That's going to be caught by Lewis, but he's going to be tackled down immediately by who else but Merrick Itera.
Yeah, and it's a nice kind of change of pace kind of play for Sioux Falls as Lewis this time goes with the underneath cross route, getting a nice, decent 3-yard catch to start off this set of downs for Sioux Falls, who are now inside the red zone.
Tyree across the middle, able to connect with his target. Marion with a great grab and getting inside the 5-yard line to the 3. First down and goal for Sioux Falls.
And now Sioux Falls is cooking. Big thing here. We've kind of seen these two offenses stagnate a little bit here, but now this is probably the first instance of any offense kind of cooking up a little bit here. This time, Marion gets another great catch on that slant route, which has helped a lot to get Marion open throughout this first half. And Sioux Falls, they are threatening big time now.
Full house in the backfield behind Tyree, who's under center. 4 down defensive linemen, and the linebackers are close to the line. Handoff to Hart. He will gain a yard on the play, but that is it, as he was wrapped up by Rhett Sawyer.
Yeah, and it was one of those go and stop immediately kind of tackles. You can see Colin Hart, he was just trying to speed himself through to see if he can go unscathed, but Sawyer said, "You ain't going anywhere." It was pretty much a wall right in front of Hart and stopped him right on his tracks.
Cornelius and Hart in the backfield. Handoff to Hart, but he's going to be hit and dropped for a loss on the play. And that's going to be Tom Krieg, who came in, had to fight off some blockers, and it's going to be a loss of 5, or a loss of 2, and it's going to be 3rd down and goal from the 5.
And when you know that Colin Hart's been playing very well so far in this first half, you've got to really start focusing on him, which is exactly what happened. And Krieg, off his line a little bit here, gets to Colin Hart as quickly as he could.
Plant routes, but Tyree's going to be sacked. Couldn't get the ball away. Christopher Colon with the sack, his first of the game. That's a big one for Colon, as he was coming in only with a half sack as well, so he gets his first full sack of the season as well.
That was a quick pursuit from Colon as well. He pretty much had the speed of a wide receiver getting to Tyree as quickly as possible. It basically gave him no time to throw that football.
Snap is down, kick is on the way. Fontaine gets it through the uprights and is 2 for 2 on the evening so far. And now, just like that, 6-0, Sioux Falls on top of Las Vegas. And after a gutsy call on 4th and 1 to go for it, they also got the free play as well, courtesy of the defensive line moving and Tyree with the hard count. And so the 11-play drive resulting from 45 yards, and just like that, Sioux Falls with the 6-0 lead. But, I mean, it's still a 1-score game if you're Las Vegas.
Yeah, and just think, like, going back to that Sioux Falls drive, if they didn't go for it on 4th down, they're going to have to punt the football away, and that could have swung the momentum back in Las Vegas' side. So I'd like to think, if you're the Sioux Falls coaching staff, that you'll take the 3 points after kind of catching them slipping and causing that penalty to get essentially a free set of downs.
Yeah, there's been 6 punts already in this game. There were 5 in a row between field goals for Sioux Falls, as it looks like they're going to bring some pressure with the linebackers. And that's going to be a stop for a loss on the play on first down. And the defense coming up big for Sioux Falls. Terrell Davis coming in with the tackle for loss.
Yeah, and you saw it right away. You had all 3 linebackers essentially getting right to the line before the snap and basically forced 7 on the line right away. So a great play call from the Sioux Falls defense to stop Johnson in his tracks.
Now going with 3 down defensive linemen after gaining the tackle for loss. 2 receivers to the top, 1 to the bottom for Green, the lefty, looking around, going to take a shot deep, and that's going to be caught. Oh, what a play. Levy with the tackle, though. And a good play, and that gets it up to the Las Vegas 48.
That's a wide open Tiberius Bovine there. Had plenty of space around him. There was nobody within a couple yards of him, so Joseph Green just had to make the easy throw, and Bovine just needed to make the easy catch. And now Las Vegas has a very key first down as we tick closer to 2 minutes here.
Yeah, that was big. The 25th reception for Bovine on the season, and it's a big one. Gets a first down after the tackle for loss on the first down play. Johnson, spin cycle, and only going to pick up 6 on the play, and wrestled down by Derek Williams.
It's very interesting that Scott Johnson decided to spin inside instead of kind of staying with that outside path that he had that had a lot of space for him. But nonetheless, that's a 6-yard gain. That's positive.
That's going to be the 2-minute warning of the first half of play. You're watching the SFL on YouTube. Silver State Stadium in Las Vegas. It's been rocking since around 1 o'clock Pacific time when everybody was showing up for tailgating, and now they're inside rocking, trying to get this offense marching downfield a little bit. There's Johnson coming out of the 2-minute warning, and the first play is enough for the first down, getting the ball to the 39.
I got to give credit to that left tackle there, because Axel Raven was pursuing off that left side, and he managed to block him right away to give Scott Johnson just enough space to get that first down run. So a great job by stopping Axel Raven in his tracks.
Linebackers adjusting, same with the defensive line. For Sioux Falls on this first down play. Going to be another run to Scott Johnson, and brought down by a tag team, and you also had Derek Williams on there with the tackle.
And Scott Johnson's starting to cook a little bit here too. He's been getting some nice runs, getting himself involved a little bit more here, trying to match Colin Hart's performance so far in this game. Both running backs have basically played tit for tat so far in this first half.
Another Scott Johnson run, spin move, has enough for the first down. Tackled down by Derek Williams. Going to be all the way down to the 26. First down. They're going to hurry it back to the line with 55 seconds left to go.
Yeah, they're going to have to hurry up here.
Derek Williams gets gained back to the line, taking his time, and another run by Johnson with a gain of 3.
Yeah, they're under a minute here, so they need to get some points out of this.
Oh, and hit and drop for a loss in the backfield. It was like, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. And James Kelly getting in there for the tackle for loss. 3rd and 9 upcoming for Las Vegas.
That was 3 straight runs, so it's like, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on you. Fool me thrice. I guess I have to take this tackle then.
Right? I just have to defeat my blocker now.
Yeah, it's pretty much you have to get to him at that point.
Trips to the top of the formation for Green. Lefty gets the shotgun snap. He pump fakes. He's still got all sorts of time, but it's starting to collapse around him. Throws it to the back of the end zone. Into triple coverage, and that one was knocked away.
It's a nice risky pass from Joseph Green. They were wanting pay dirt on that one, and why not go to Mason Kirby, who's been very reliable on getting touchdown passes throughout his career. I think Green may have waited a little bit too long to get his receivers open, but nonetheless, they got themselves in a decent enough field position to finally score some points. So we're gonna have to see how Matt Rage does from essentially what looks to be 43 yards out.
Yeah, he is 7-4-8 on the season, coming in at 87.5%. As the snap is down, kick is on the way. Does it have the leg? It does, and it's true. Right down Broadway, 42 yards out. So Las Vegas No shutout in this one, as it's going to be 6-3 the score. And that's a good answer for Las Vegas, driving down the field, especially you had the 2-minute warning in there as well, ran a couple no huddle plays. So I think really good information to take back into the locker room at halftime with 27 seconds left to go.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting what Sioux Falls does here as well, because they're going to get the ball back in the second half. Are they going to decide to try to risk it a little bit and try to get as many points as possible with 27 left to go? I'm not sure.
The kick is away from Rage. It's going to be caught by Levy and brought out, but he's going to be stymied before he can get to the 30. So first down and 10 and 23 seconds left to go. Would you be aggressive to close this first half out, or would you be more conservative, just run in and take it to the locker room?
Yeah, it's very tough to say, because that last drive that Sioux Falls had, their offense was cooking from all cylinders. So I might have tried to see if there was a heat check involved and maybe try to throw it deep. And it looks like they're going to go swing pass here.
Yeah, swing pass to Hart out of the backfield. Slim Shady was chasing him down and only able to pick up 10 on the play. They're going to be inches shy of the first down marker. They do have 3 timeouts remaining if they so choose to take some. They're going to swing it out yet again, but that is going to be enough for the first down. And he broke out of the tackle by Eric Davis, who read that play beautifully.
Yeah, it's a great job from Colin Hart to essentially kind of butter his way out of Eric Davis's hands and get to that first down, along with getting to the sideline out of bounds to stop the clock. And now Tyree's going to have to throw a 60-yard Hail Mary if they want a chance to score some points here.
Let's see if the defensive line can come up with a sack play. They're going to bring 4 on the pressure. Tyree can't get it, as he's going to be sacked down to close out this first half of play. I believe it's Nicky Colantrelli getting in there with the sack.
Yeah, it looked to be that right side that was getting involved there. As you can see, that backup tight end that we were talking about before there, he kind of just slimed his way through to get to Tyree to get that sack.
And that's going to bring us to the half, and it's going to be Sparrows on top 6-3 over the Fury. Kind of maybe a surprising score to some. Maybe some were thinking this might be an old-fashioned shootout, but instead it's been an old-fashioned defensive battle. And you had the 3 sacks from Las Vegas. Still, Sioux Falls they're not generating pressure, but their linebackers are definitely getting home. But that first half of play, just give the viewers watching on YouTube, Brett, a little taste of the action from the first half.
Basically, it was a defensive battle all in all. Take away that one drive from Sioux Falls where their offense finally got going and Julian Tyree was finally starting to connect his passes. But both teams were struggling offensively, as both defensive lines were giving both Julian Tyree and Joseph Green a heck of a time trying to find open receivers. So this has been a defensive dogfight through and through here. Giving a little bit of credit to Jack's data here, they predict this game to be around 41 points on the spread, and so far it's playing even more defensively than before here. So both teams will need to step it up offensively. Even if Sioux Falls is up 3, they can't stay on this lead essentially, and both teams need to start getting aggressive here.
Yeah, Joseph Green with 30 yards. He was 4 of 8 in that first half of play. No touchdowns, no interceptions. Meanwhile, for Julian Tyree, 127 passing yards. He was 13 of 19, 68.4% completions. No touchdowns, no interceptions. Gunnar Lewis, 41 yards on 4 receptions. And then leading the way for Sioux Falls, K. Marion with 45 yards, 3 receptions on 4 targets. Leading for Las Vegas, Tiberius Bonavine with the 19-yard grab. Scott Johnson, 54 yards on 15 carries. He had a long of 15. Colin Hart, 49 yards on 12 carries and a long of 7. And leading tackle for Sioux Falls, Axel Raven with 4. And you have 6 for Slim Shady for Las Vegas. So here we go. What do you want to see from Sioux Falls to open this game out here with their first drive of the second half?
I want to see the exact same drive that they had to basically end this the second quarter for them. Julian Tyree was finding his receivers wide open. The slant route from K. Marion was getting open all the time. But you also got to mix a little bit of Cullen Hart in here as well, because he's broken out for some decent runs as well.
Tyree will float this one out too hard as he turns upfield, and that's going to be close. I'm going to say he just got past the first down marker. Enough for the first down on the first play of the second half, and I appreciate Justin Reside doing the stats for us. And Brett Solberg is my broadcast partner. We're coming live from Silver State Stadium in Las Vegas, and a good play on first down to open up this second half.
Yeah, a nice swing pass for Colin Hart there, as we know that Julian Tyree has been very effective with the passes so far to his receivers. This time kind of throwing him a little bit off with a swing pass to Colin Hart, and he gets himself 10 yards out of that.
Giving it to Hart up the middle this time, and he will be tackled down by Chris Magel, but he will pick up 3 for his troubles.
And Colin Hart had 2 options essentially on that run. He could go inside, which is what happened there, but I also thought he had space to go a little bit outside, kind of stretch that run to the right. This time, a gain of 3 nonetheless.
So we're going to give it to Hart. He's going to go up the middle with it. This time he's going to get a gain of 3 as Slyn Shady on the tackle yet again, adding to an already impressive performance in this one. It's going to be 3rd down and 4. What do you call here for Sioux Falls?
Not a run, as we've seen so far from both teams here. I would like to see Tyree pass this ball out. That's exactly what's happening here. They're going to go trips to the right with an empty gun set here.
2 of 7 on 3rd down. Need to make this a little bit more manageable, but no, he's going to be sacked on the play as Las Vegas with their 4th sack in this game is Rhett Sawyer coming up with a big time play. Going to be a loss. It's going to be 4th down and 10, and we'll see the punting unit come on.
And the key thing here is that it's the 4th different player that has gotten to Julian Tyree for the sacks. So Las Vegas's defense getting all involved in Julian Tyree's grill here, as the kids like to say.
Visit the SFL League website at simulationfl.net for info on how to create a player to join our community, the league, and the teams that play in it. Comprehensive history of the SFL. It's over 1,500 games, and it's thousands of players who have hit the virtual field. The Simulation Football League, 17 seasons strong. I'm sure people will be flocking to that website as progressions are open for this week. It's going to be 1st down and 10. 6-3 is the score. Sioux Falls on top over Las Vegas, but Las Vegas with the ball, their first drive of the second half after getting the punt from Sioux Falls. Throwing it out wide, that's going to be caught, and it's going to be a gain of 8, and we have a man down.
And that was
Mason
right
Kirby.
away, too. That was right away after the catch. He got that tackle, and after he got hit, he stayed motionless. That's a scary sight. And with me being a wide receiver and everything like that, shoulder to shoulder, that's tough to say. It could be his shoulder, it could be his elbow, possibly. We're gonna have to see what the injury report gives to him. But falling short one receiver, that's not what Las Vegas wants as they try to get back offensively in this game.
AJ Levy with no love in the chat saying, get out the body bag. No love here in this Sioux Falls, Las Vegas kind of rivalry that's been going on. And that's going to be a 1st down run for Scott Johnson. Barhart on the tackle, but enough to move the chains. It's going to be 1st down and 10 already to their own 45.
Yeah, and if you need to bounce back from a scary kind of hit to Mason Kirby, you go with your reliable, and that's what Scott Johnson is for Las Vegas. He gets himself a lot of space, and he pushes his way through to a 1st down.
Any information that we get on Mason Kirby, we'll send it along to you guys. And it's going to be thrown underneath, and that is going to be a completion. As now coming in for Mason Kirby is Marion Corbetti.
Yeah, and we've seen a couple catches so far this season from Corbetti, so there's not a complete separation between the main receivers and the backups here, but we're going to see a lot more involvement from him throughout the rest of the game.
Hand off to Johnson up the middle, the fullback up the middle. She goes, and that's going to be a gain of 2 on the play. Going to bring up 3rd and 4 for Las Vegas, who needs to start converting on some third downs. They are 0 for 5.
Yeah, and that's going to be the big thing for them in this second half is they need to convert on these big key third downs, which this one is. They've crossed enemy territory at this point after Amir Monte's run, so they need to get just the 4 yards to cross the chains here.
4 linemen moving or rushing in, and that's going to be thrown out, and a good catch by Doug Britton as he will have enough of the first down and getting the ball to the Sioux Falls 36-yard line.
And a nice inside slant route from Doug Britton. I was going to mix up my names here and say Mason Kirby, but we already know he's still in the medical unit right now getting evaluated. But nonetheless, Britton with a nice slant route to the inside to get himself open, and a nice little bit of an air pass from Joseph Green to basically pinpoint a spot for Britton.
Trips to the top of the formation, empty set. Pressure coming, he eludes it, but then he's going to throw it. Oh, man, what a play. As that is going to be coming in. The free rusher for Sioux Falls is JT Lane.
Yeah, and Lane did a really good job to get himself basically blitzing right to Joseph Green as quickly as he could. And Green evades him the first time, but he still maybe wait a little bit too much on that throw for Lane to basically tackle him and force that ball to be thrown a yard instead of 20.
Brings up second down and 10. Green. Pocket was starting to collapse around him, but he got rid of it just before the pocket collapsed. And there's Bovine with his second grab of the game. Goes for 8 on the play, bringing you up third down and 2.
And that's a big catch because, like you said, there was pressure being applied basically from both ends of the line. So Joseph Green had to be very quick on his decision, and he found the reliable Bovine to get an 8-yard gain now.
Gonna give it to Johnson. Joe, look at the power. Dragging bodies with him across the first down marker, getting it to the 23-yard line.
You know, I heard rumors in Las Vegas practices that Scott Johnson gets guys to piggyback him while he does his runs. And that's exactly what we've seen here, as he was basically piggybacking 3 Sioux Falls defenders just to will himself to that first down. An amazing run.
James Kelly being one of them, and he's no slouch for Sioux Falls on the defensive. Get him do it again. This time he had Ringgold on him, and he also had Derek Williams, so a little bit lighter than the defensive lineman that he just had.
Yeah, and then another big gain from Scott Johnson here. Now he's showing his power, and you could hear AJ Levy on the out on the field say, "Man, we had him on that last play." And again, they had him again, but he just kept pushing himself forward and forward to get as many yards as he can.
It's funny you say we had him, because he just put in YouTube chat that we had him, and they finally wrestle him down. Nick Fargo coming in and cleaning it up, and it's going to be third down and 4, the tackle for loss, courtesy of Nick Fargo.
And you know what's interesting is that Sioux Falls has been focusing on Scott Johnson throughout this game. And now that Scott Johnson, he looks like he has fire in his eyes. He's just trying to motivate this Las Vegas offense to get going here. This time he just gets stopped right away, which is what Sioux Falls needs to do right at the go.
11th play of the drive, already 48 yards on this drive, giving it to Johnson. Good blocking.
Nice.
And he's got the crease into the end zone. First touchdown of the game, courtesy of Scott Johnson.
And that was that big key there. You saw the juke move that happened a little bit there. He faked going inside, but then saw a ton of space to keep going outside to get himself enough space and get this Las Vegas Fury into the end zone. Nice move, and he kind of juked out Axel Raven on there. That is a big juke move from Scott Johnson to get himself to the end zone. Now Las Vegas is finally cooking after very stagnant 22 minutes out on the field. So this has got to be a sigh of relief for the Fury fans.
So Scott Johnson with his 25th career touchdown run. As a good career for Scott Johnson continues, and it's through the uprights and good, making it a 10-6 game, and the first time Las Vegas has had the lead in this game.
Yeah, it's a big moment in this game as well, as we tick closer to the second half of the third quarter. Las Vegas finally getting the momentum that they wanted here, Now, Sioux Falls, you got to respond with something here. Can Colin Hart do the same thing? Or maybe can Julian Tyree kind of get this offense continuing to go?
As the 25th touchdown, now he's one away from tying Richard Snowden for rushing touchdowns as he climbs up the ranks. And first down and 10. And really, I mean, this series dates back all the way to season 11 when they first started playing. And really, it's been the home team that has won every game in this series.
Yeah, that's exactly it. You'll see the history marks here, and you'll see home team has more points than the away team. So Sioux Falls is looking to try to break that spell and get themselves ahead in this series even more.
5-3, Sioux Falls with the series lead as Tyree going to take off and run with it. He's got a hole, and he will pick up they're going to say that because he went behind the line that he did not get enough for the first down.
Bad ball placement.
I don't know about R62 in that one.
That is a poor placement of the football there. I thought Tyree crossed that first down line with plenty of space. But like you can even see, like there is no line of scrimmage or first down line there. Like, what decision are you making there?
Oh, and then on the ensuing play, a sack, as there is a injury update for Mason Kirby, but just as soon as the comparisons come up.
Yeah, isn't that convenient for us? Because now we don't know if Kirby's going to come back in this game or not. Yeah, this is leaving it even a bigger mystery here.
Empty set for Tyree. He's going to float this one, and that one is going to be caught. Threading the needle yet again is what Tyree's done all game long, but he's found a way to get it done. That's Noe Terrazas with the reception. The first one for him, and that's going to be up to the 45.
And Terrazas saw a lot of action in the second half of the Charleston game, and hopefully it's going to be the same thing here in this game as we tick down closer to the end of the third quarter to get Terrazas more involved. That's his first catch.
Hand off to Colin Hart going up the middle, but it's going to get just enough for a gain of 1. They'll say Slyn Shady on the tackle again. He's been all over the place. These running backs are going to be looking at Slyn Shady. He's going to be in Colin Hart's nightmares, and for Scott Johnson, it's going to be Axel Raven in his.
Yeah, we talked about both of these names in the first half here, and now they're going to be nightmares for running backs, and we've seen it so far.
Across the middle, but that one's going to be picked off on the deflection. Nicky Colantrelli with the interception.
That is a big tip drill interception play that happened there. It looked to me that that ball from Tyree was kind of thrown a little bit erratic because there was about 3 receivers kind of in the same area, so we don't know where he was really targeting to. And just the kind of that bobble of the pass afterwards led to that ball kind of being wide open for Colantrelli to get that catch, an interception, and now Las Vegas, that momentum's falling on their side at this point.
The first turnover of the game, and it's Colantrelli with his second of the season. And it's going to be floated out to Miramanis, turns upfield as she will pick up 6, and it's going to bring up 2nd down and 4.
Yeah, there's a nice swing catch onto the side from Miramontes to get herself plenty of yard of space. Tried to go with the juke move there, a la Scott Johnson in the last play, but didn't work out as well. So nonetheless, 6 yards is a good gain to start off this drive.
Armada and Johnson in the backfield. They're going to give it to Johnson. Oh, he stutter stepped. I thought he had the edge to the far side to get down the sideline, but he will have enough for the first down as he gets it to the 41-yard line as Johnson now up to 88 yards on 20 carries.
Yeah, and that's all that Scott Johnson was really looking for there, was just to get that first down, to move the chains a little bit further there. Like you said, he had the space on the outside, but we don't know how much longer further he could have gotten on that run.
92 and counting for Johnson, as he will get to 93 on 22 carries with this carry he just had, and a good job by Behemoth to only hold Johnson to a gain of 1.
Yeah, and it's pursuit from the Sioux Falls defensive line. We've seen it quite a few times in this game when Scott Johnson doesn't break off for a big run here. So they're doing a good job to try to neutralize Johnson.
4 down defensive linemen rushing for Sioux Falls. They're going to do a quick float out to Johnson out of the backfield, get him going, turning north, and he does pick up 5 on second down. Does pick up 4, excuse me. And it's going to be 3rd down and 5 for Las Vegas. And again, it still hasn't been pretty on 3rd down, 3 of 8.
Yeah, and they've been slowly improving that number, because you said at one point it was 0 for 5, but this time this is a very critical 3rd down. They really need to move the chains to continue to eat possession off this clock here.
Trips to the bottom of the formation for Green. Gonna float it underneath. It was gonna be 1 yard short of the 1st down marker, and it's batted away by Nathan Barnett, the free safety for Sioux Falls, and we will see Dustin McRack come on to punt this one back to Sioux Falls.
Yeah, it looked like Dennis Charney, the one of the reserve wide receivers, got a little bit of the action there. Just couldn't get his hands on the catch, and now Las Vegas is going to have to punt this ball out, try to pin him deep, and force Sioux Falls not to score any points.
McRack has already pinned Sioux Falls at their own 5, but that one gets into the end zone for a touchback, and let one slip away was the special teams for Las Vegas, and that one's going to hurt them. Visit the SFL's YouTube channel, youtube.com/SimulationFL, for an archive of every game, every draft, every moment you might have missed since the Simulation League got its start back in 2013. The SFL YouTube features top 10 plays of the week, archived people behind the players, segments, and in all the major milestones in league history. As Tyree, going to start where he left off, finds Marion, another big grab, gets to the 35-yard line, gain of 15.
And again, it's that reliable K. Marion kind of slant route. As you can see, once Marion broke off, the defender there had plenty of space, and Tyree had enough time to throw the football right to Marion and get that key 1st down for Sioux Falls to inch them closer into enemy territory.
5 seconds remaining. Clock is ticking. Going to be the last play of the 3rd quarter. Tyree is going to go down for the sack. Christopher Colon with his 2nd on the game.
Yeah, and it looked like Tyree was kind of pressuring himself to start off this drive as he was going outside the pocket on the right side, and it looked like he was paranoid from the start. Nonetheless, a great sack from Colon.
That's going to do it for the end of the 3rd. Put your 4s up in chat. This is going to be a good one. Only a 4-point game. Fury on top, 10-6. You're watching the SFL on YouTube. Back to Silver State Stadium in Las Vegas. I'm Jeff Melanishin. My broadcast partner is Brett Solberg, and doing the stats for us is Justin Reside. 2nd and 19. Long way to go. Need to get to the 45 or just past it, and that's going to be a good start. 3rd down, big time grab, and that's going to be Terrazas with another big one. Gets to the 40, setting up a 3rd and 5.
Yeah, and Terrazas had about 4 or 5 receptions in the 4th quarter alone for Sioux Falls as they were trying to get back in the Charleston game. So it looks like they're going to try the same kind of route in this game here, especially when Julian Tyree is connecting his passes more often than he did last game. And another great catch.
Blitz coming from the safety. He's throwing it deep, but that's going to be intercepted. Nicky Colantrelli with his 2nd of the game. A big-time back-breaking throw by Julian Tyree as he was looking for Marion down the side.
Yeah, and that was basically a momentum-stopping interception, too, as they were looking for K. Marion once again, this time going with a streak route onto the left side. But this time, Colantrell just right place, right time, and gets his hands on the football for the 2nd interception, and is Tyree's 26th of the season.
Handing it off, and that's going to be Scott Johnson with a gain of 1. And not the way that Sioux Falls wanted. I mean, it was 3rd down and 5. They took a shot deep with the linebackers coming on a blitz. It looked like a good play call, but Nicky Colantrelli with a good play.
And when you're Sioux Falls, you have to take risks like that to try to get some kind of momentum going to get an offensive touchdown.
Green is going to be sacked. Buck Behemoth We've seen him make a couple tackles for loss, and he's coming up with a sack now. He's looking really good in this one. 3rd and 13 for Las Vegas.
Yeah, and that was a big sack for Buck Behemoth. We've seen him kind of threatening all day, getting to Scott Johnson a couple times, and this time getting to Joseph Green and forcing a 3rd and long.
Looks like that might bring some pressure with the linebackers, but they back out of it. Green going to throw it, but it kind of, throwing your receiver into a bad situation as Bovine got hit just as the ball got there, bringing up 4th down.
Yeah, very risky throw from Joseph Green as basically Jay Ringgold was right at the spot knowing that Bovine was going to try to get that catch, and instead of looking to maybe even deflect the football away, was just focused on getting to Bovine first. So a nice and safe play, and now Las Vegas has to punt the ball.
Coverage of the Simulation Football League 17th season on Next Level Sports continues tomorrow, September 19th at 2 p.m. Eastern Time, with the league's top team, Baltimore, heading down to Florida to face the surging Jacksonville Kings. We'll also keep tabs on the Atlantic battle, just a few hours south between Charleston and Florida. It all comes your way this tomorrow on Next Level Sports. Be sure to tune into that. Should be some good matchups tomorrow. 1st down and 10, though, for Sioux Falls. Tyree, after throwing the interception, the defense bails him out, gets the 3 and out. He gets the ball back, though they are inside their own end at their own 29, but they'll start with Colin Hart out of the backfield, and that is going to be wrestled down by Eric Davis.
And nonetheless is a good start for Sioux Falls as well, because the swing passes for both teams have essentially really been working. Colin Hart with a nice catch, getting himself enough space, and 6 yards is a good start for any drive here. So Sioux Falls is going to come out smiling after this play.
Already a gain of 6. As Tyree going to float this one out again to Hart, but this time going to go for a loss on the play. Eric Davis getting the tackle for loss.
Yeah, and Davis looked to be involved in the last play as well. So Colin Hart should have known that Davis was going to get to him again this time, getting him behind the line a little bit here. So now Sioux Falls kind of need to mix it up here. Tyree has 2 interceptions. They're going empty shotgun. How are they going to play this?
3 of 10 on 3rd down, looking to make it 4 of 11. Tyree going to throw this one, and it's going to be caught on the deflection. 1st down and 10 for the Sparrows.
And Sioux Falls went all slants on the left side. This time it was it looked like it was aiming for, it looked to be K. Marion, I want to say, or Al Dillapre.
No, that was Terrazas. That was targeted.
They looked to be Terrazas there, and the ball was up for a long enough amount of time for Gunnar Lewis to kind of dive on that football. Great catch from Gunnar Lewis.
Tyree, pocket collapsing, gets rid of it just before he's going to get sacked on the play. Rhett Sawyer applying the pressure, bringing up 2nd down and 10 from their own 44.
And it looks to me that Tyree is getting a little bit more paranoid as we get to the 4th quarter here. He's been kind of, looks like he's got ants in his pants as he's kind of going around the pocket here. And once he saw that collapse, he was like, I need to get out of here. And he decided to go with just a throw to the back of one of his offensive linemen.
2 receivers to the top. Tyree, and that's going to be incomplete. Gunnar Lewis is going to be the one that they were looking to get, but Slyn Shady batting that one away, and there were at least 4. That was a tight throw by Tyree. We've seen him make a couple tight throws, but I think that was the tightest one that would have gotten in there.
Yeah, I was just going to say that's one of the tightest options for Tyree to go with here, and he went with it. Just very unfortunate that it just didn't pull it off.
Trips to the bottom of the formation, throwing it up. That was intercepted on the tip drill. Going back the other way, there is a flag down. Slyn Shady.
Watch out.
The 15 all the way for a pick 6, but we'll see what the flag is.
Yeah, it's very dependent here because Slyn Shady gave a lot of run on that.
Clipping. Oh, that's going to negate.
Wow.
Eric Davis with the clip, as Slyn Shady's pick 6 is going to be negated.
That is big. If that clip didn't happen there, Slin Shady had a absolutely beautiful run after the interception of the end zone, and now all of that's negated. Sioux Falls has a second chance, I believe, to get this offensive going. No, they're actually still going to give it to Las Vegas, but they're going to be
Yeah,
pushed
because
back a little bit.
it was after the interception, so they keep the possession. Two receivers to the top, throwing it out, and that's going to be Scott Johnson. Going to be pushed out of bounds by Derek Williams, but we'll pick up 4.
Yeah, it just shows to me how smart I am with football knowledge at this point. I should probably be fired for play-by-play booth for not knowing that. I just thought Sioux Falls was going to get the football back, but maybe it's just the Canadian in me more than anything else. Nonetheless, a 4-yard gain, still a good start for Las Vegas's drive here.
What's the maple syrup you brought me earlier today?
Yeah, possibly.
Second down and 6. And it's going to be run up the middle, and that is going to be no gain and a loss. Just lucky to get back to the line of scrimmage. They're actually going to say it was no gain on the play. And again, Kelly getting in there with the tackle, but Scott Johnson not able to get going. And now this is a big third down for Sioux Falls. If they can withstand this and get the stop, they could get the ball back.
Yeah, and for Las Vegas, I'd think about going to John Blades on a deep pass to see if he can get to the end zone real quick here.
Throwing it across the middle of the slant route, works to perfection. Doug Britton with the reception. And tackled down on the play by Nathan Barnett.
Or you can go with a slant route to a quick pass to Doug Britton. Still, a great decision made by Joseph Green, and nice offensive play to continue the forward momentum that they've been getting on third downs. They're starting to convert more third downs here, which has been very key to Las Vegas's comeback in this game. So very good controlling the football in this fourth quarter.
Fourth play of the drive, now inside Sioux Falls territory at their 38. 7-step drop, taking a shot deep.
Oh!
Connection made to Doug Britton.
And he's been a big, reliable option for Joseph Green throughout this game. It was only a matter of time for one of these receivers to get that deep route down the field. This time it was Britton. It looked like he beat Ringgold and Levy deep in the middle of the field, and it was just all Doug Britton essentially getting to a spot, and he got the catch, and Las Vegas is now cooking big time in this fourth quarter.
Wow, what a throw by Green. Led Britton perfectly, and all she wrote. He caught it at the 2 and could have did the old Tyreek Hill backflip into the end zone as the extra point through the uprights, and good for as it's going to be 17-6 now, and it's all Las Vegas.
Yeah, and Sioux Falls, they need to find a way to respond quickly in this. They're still really in this game. It's 11 points. It's still 2 possessions, and with 6:25 left to go, that's plenty of time to get 2 quick possessions to the end zone. So Sioux Falls needs to step it up offensively to get back in this game.
APM Music is unrivaled music that brings your stories to life, inspiring every production with the world's most robust and constantly refreshed music collection. State-of-the-art technology and world-class customer service, APM Music is the official soundtrack of the Simulation Football League. To explore their library and to find the perfect tracks for your projects, visit apmmusic.com. First down and 10 for Tyree, as he's got Cornelius and Hart in the backfield. One receiver to the bottom of the formation. 4 down defensive lineman for Las Vegas.
Oh!
Play, and it has gone from bad to worse, but it looks like Sioux Falls fell on the ball.
Yeah, that's a little bit of a sigh of relief there, and guess who it is that managed to get that football loose? It looked to be Slin Shady once again, who has been just all over the place in this game. Just a fantastic game from him once again. Perennial all-star talent that man is.
One of the greats in the SFL, Slin Shady. Oh, and look at that. Hart broke out of his spin move. Getting past the 30 and will be pushed past the 35 to the 36.
And that's a big bully run from Colin Hart. We haven't seen too many of those in this game, but if Sioux Falls is going to get past this game and get some points out of this, they need some big bully runs like Colin Hart had here.
Pistol full house in the backfield. or excuse me, full house in the backfield. Tyree under center. It's going to be a handoff up the middle, and that's going to be Colin Hart with the first down and up to the 41-yard line.
Yeah, and that's a nice, decent gap down the middle from the offensive line to give Colin Hart enough of a run to get that first down yardage. And it looked like he could have broke out for another big run here, but Colin Trell gets to Hart as quickly as possible to stop any forward momentum from Colin Hart.
Colin Hart now up to 68 yards on 18 carries at 3.8 yards per carry average. As you got Cornelius and Hart in the backfield, tight set formation, trying to run it, but Slyn Shady is there to blow that up, and they're going to go hurry up.
Yeah, they're gonna have to go for a hurry up here because they're starting to run out of clock.
Hart going to run this, and again, Slyn Shady in the backfield, or excuse me, Merrick Itera getting in the backfield with the tackle.
Yeah, I don't think this is the formation to do it with, though, on the hurry up, so this might be a bad decision making from Tyree and company here.
And Tyree under center yet again. It's now 3rd and 17. They're going to run it yet again. Hart spins out at 1, but then it's going to be brought down, getting up to the 37-yard line as the tackle was made. And that's going to do it. It's going to be 4th and 14 unless they decide to take a shot deep downfield on 4th down, but they are deep in their own end.
It looks like they are going to go with it here. They've got receivers trips to the right here.
Tyree's going to wind up, take a shot, but that one's going to be almost intercepted on the deflection. They were testing Colin Trelli already, who has 2 interceptions in this game, as Chuck Warsaw will get credited with the deflection off of Colin Trelli.
Yeah, and the big key here is that Las Vegas will get the football back in very generous field position after that 4th down. Colin Trelli, again, basically covering K. Marion very ideally at this point. But now Las Vegas has the football back, and it's decision time for the defense. Are they going to step up Sioux Falls, or are they going to let Las Vegas get these first downs and chew more clock out of the game?
Yeah, with 3:56 left to go, they don't need to put the football in the air anymore. They can run this one out. We'll see what happens, though, as it's going to be on the fullback, and it's going to be carried, and there's going to go Scott Johnson inside the 10.
And we were just talking about this. Is Sioux Falls going to step up, or are they going to break down after that 4th turnover on downs there? This time it's just Scott Johnson had all the space that he wanted in the world here, and that pushes him way over 100 yards in this game once again, and kind of proving that he's gonna be he's gonna be a force to be reckoned with as this 4th quarter of the season winds down.
Got Johnson coming in 157 carries, 725 yards, a 4.6 yards per carry average, and 5 rushing touchdowns. Impressive stat line. Like to see it up just a little bit, maybe get some more wins for Las Vegas, as Johnson's going to get back to the line of scrimmage on that one, and he was tackled down by John Barnhart.
Yeah, and it looks to me that they're going to keep relying on Scott Johnson to keep shedding the clock, especially when they're in a goal line situation. So they're going to get some points nonetheless out of this. Even with a field goal, it still makes it a 14-point game. So this is smooth runnings for Las Vegas. So Sioux Falls needs to make some noise defensively to kind of stifle this Las Vegas offense.
From the Sioux Falls 8-yard line. Now just taking some time off the clock. They snap it with 2 seconds left. There's Johnson into the end zone. His 2nd rushing touchdown of the game. And now it is all Las Vegas.
Yeah, and that was basically the biggest nightmare Sioux Falls could have in the goal line here. And that's Scott Johnson getting wide open space. There was nobody around him. Blockers from everywhere essentially getting to Sioux Falls defenders right away. And as Slyn said right on the sidelines, he said it in the chat as well, Scotty Ball game does it again for Las Vegas, as I think this might be the final nail in the coffin for Sioux Falls. I don't think they can get back in this game.
7.5 points was the favorite for Las Vegas, as they are blowing that out of the water. And the extra point through the uprights and good by Matt Rage. as the placeholder absolutely got destroyed after the kick. 24-6 is the score, and now Las Vegas, I know you were talking about it earlier. We were talking about this being a must-win game for both teams, especially being it a division battle. And with Las Vegas coming in 3-5, getting that fourth win, they're sitting right there now, and they're on the edge looking in. So they're like in that bubble, looking into the playoffs, like through the window. Hey, we're still here. So I mean, this is a big game. I mean, still plenty of time left to go. It's Levy.
Watch out!
Look at this. There's going to be a kick return. He's being chased, but he's at the 30, the 20. Levy gets into the end zone on a kick return.
That is what you do to get your team back in this game. And AJ Levy doing the work all by himself. You could tell he was angry after the set of the drive that Las Vegas had. He's on the defensive end, mind you, seeing all this happen basically in front of his eyes. And then he decided, you know what, I'm gonna get this kick return and get this touchdown myself and get Sioux Falls back in this game. So let's run this back a little bit here. Can Sioux Falls now can I get back in this game and continue with this momentum that Levy has essentially handed the team?
His 12th career touchdown on a kick return, as he's still chasing Gabriel Manning that has 18. But boy, oh boy, big-time players make big-time plays here in the SFL, and Levy is essentially a big-time player on both sides of the ball, and he did just that. 24-13. Are you surprised that they didn't go for two and make it a 10-point game?
It's, you know what, it's tough to say because Sioux Falls' offense has kind of been stagnating a little bit, and even with 2 yards left to go, essentially, it's a tough 2 yards, especially with Las Vegas' defensive line playing like they have right now. But the first things first, they need to get this onside kickback.
Here we go. Kick is away, and it's going to be actually, it was fielded before the 10 yards, so a dangerous play by Las Vegas, but the hands team comes up big.
Yeah, and that's the big thing there is that I thought maybe it only got 9 yards out of that, but referees say that it was long enough, so a quick catch from Las Vegas, and they're probably going to try to run this football down their gut and try to shed some clock now.
I'm going to hand this one off to Johnson. Spin move, and he's going to be tackled down. Only a gain of 2 on the play. Coverage of the Simulation Football League 17th season on For the Fans continues tomorrow, September 19th at 4 p.m. Eastern Time. As we come to the end of the fourth quarter, or end of the 2-minute warning, I'll get to that coming up. You're watching the SFL on YouTube. We'll be back right after this. Back to Silver State Stadium here in Las Vegas. 2 minutes left to go in the fourth quarter of this one. It's been a good one. 24-13 is the score. Two score lead for Las Vegas. Second down and 8. Hand off to Johnson. He goes up the middle. He will get to the 30-yard line, and there's the first timeout taken by Sioux Falls. But again, coverage starts on For the Fans tomorrow at 4 p.m. Eastern Time, headlined by a mega showdown in the West Coast where the 5-3 Portland Fleet will meet the 5-3 Los Angeles Lycans in a battle of the division lead. And then bonus coverage includes Charleston, Florida, and Lone Star, Arizona. It all comes your way this Sunday on For the Fans. 1:56 left to go. Spin move, Johnson hit in the backfield, dropped for a loss by Nick Fargo. They will burn their second timeout, leaving them one left with 1:53 left to go.
And maybe a little bit of a light down the end of the tunnel for Sioux Falls here. They're still going to force Matt Rage to kick a 47-48-yarder at this point, which last week he hit it from 49, so it's not too far. But if he does in fact miss this, this might give a little bit of breath back in the life of Sioux Falls.
Rage 1 for 1 on the evening. Snaps down, kick is on the way. It has the leg, and it is good from 48 yards out. Now 27-13 is the score, and Sioux Falls needs another return by AJ Levy. We'll see if he can make it his second of the game. Just getting through from 48 yards out.
That's pretty much inches enough to get past that field goal mark. A great kick from Matt Rage here, but if you're Sioux Falls and if Levy gets another touchdown here, you better get those air tanks ready for him.
Should I talk about how Las Vegas, this is a big win, maybe to re-spark the magic from AJ Levy when I was talking about it before. Spin move! Oh, he was still on his feet. I thought he was going to break it out. He was mid-spin and then brought down by Max Jackson.
Yeah, and Levy was looking like he was wanting to do another one there, and the Sioux Falls sidelines almost had the air tanks ready for him to get a little bit of a breather, but this time he gets stopped right at the 27, and now Tyree's going to have to use a little bit of his own magic to get Sioux Falls down the field in quick time.
Yep, minute 45 left to go. One timeout. Tyree from under center, throwing it across the middle. That's going to be caught. You got to hurry it up. Marion with the grab gets to the 39.
They need to be quick here. They're ticking down a lot of clock.
Calling for air raid from Axel Raven. Tyree, pressure coming from the linebacker. What a one-handed grab by Gunnar Lewis.
And that's what you want to see from Gunnar Lewis, especially when you're in the 2-minute drill.
Oh, they could have. What was he doing? He could have snapped it. He had everybody's lined up. Tyree across the middle will find his intended target. Marion yet again gets it to the 38-yard line with 1:07 left to go.
Might have needed a breather, a few of those receivers, so that's why Tyree waited.
Blitz coming again from the linebacker, throwing it out. Oh, that was dangerous. Looking for Gunnar Lewis, but it falls incomplete.
Yeah, and he had two defenders essentially right at the spot, and it was Colin Trell once again, along with Merrick Itera on that left side that was ready for Gunnar Lewis this time. Maybe they could have went with Marion on the pass again, but this time it gives Sioux Falls an opportunity to change their formation instead of going with the hurry up here. So we'll have to see what the second down brings in store.
59 seconds left to go in this one. Empty set, shotgun formation for Julian Tyree. Bunch set to the bottom of the formation. He's going to float it up, bat it up in the air, and it falls harmlessly to the turf, as that is going to be Chris Magel with the deflection.
Yeah, now it's Las Vegas' secondary that's going to have to be a key part of Las Vegas stopping Sioux Falls from getting their tracks here and kind of stopping Sioux Falls from getting any points and getting back in this game. As we tick to under a minute now in this fourth quarter, this is decision time for Sioux Falls. Are they going to go for it all on this play here?
3rd and 10. Trips to the bottom of the formation, but it'd be quads when the tight end goes out in motion as well. Throwing it that way, but off. Eric Davis. Tom Krieg with the interception.
And that's basically the final nail in the coffin here, with Sioux Falls only having one timeout left. That should still give enough time for Las Vegas to run down this clock and kind of seal the deal and get Las Vegas their all-important 4th win of the season. But just a very demoralizing interception for Tyree, who's had problems with it all season, and it just continues with another interception here in this game.
Yeah, his 3rd of the game. He was coming in with 24 interceptions, now up to 27 interceptions on the season. So 2nd and 12 is the knee down, as Sioux Falls will burn their last timeout. They cannot stop the clock, and GG's going on in the chat right now. And you were talking about it, a big-time win for Las Vegas, especially with the playoffs right around the corner.
Yeah, and now that they've won 4 of their last 6 games, it's been very big for Las Vegas to get back into the playoff fold, which essentially they are at this moment. They're now within reaching distance of one of those final playoff spots. Like I said before, last season we saw a lot of 6-6 teams make the playoffs with the 10, 11, and 12 seeds, and we might see it again this year, especially with how a lot of these teams are starting to pan out as we get into this last little bit of the regular season. So it's going to be interesting how these last 3 weeks go for all the teams in the SFL.
So 19 seconds left to go, essentially the last play of the game, and we all know what is coming. Biff Markham, appreciate you, man. Thanks to everybody tuning in on YouTube throughout this one. Biff Markham, Axel Raven, Scott Johnson, John Bod making an appearance as well. AJ Levy was here, Slyn Shady. Appreciate everybody tuning in for this one on YouTube as the clock hits triple zeros, and that's going to do it from Silver State Stadium, with the hometown Fury getting the win. And as we come into the post-game studios for this one, to wrap this one up, Brett, I mean, this was a defensive game to start. I mean, it was 3-0, 6-0 Sioux Falls. Then all of a sudden, you had the field goal by Las Vegas, and that seemed to turn the tide a little bit for them. And before you know it, 27-13.
And I think you can pinpoint just the one moment in this game that kind of turned the tide around for Las Vegas. And it's simple. Scott Johnson woke up. That's essentially what happened there. He had a fantastic second half. We saw him with a roughly 50 yards in the first half. He got another 80 in the second half alone here, along with 2 touchdowns. So he was an integral part to Las Vegas getting back in this game and kind of breaking free from Sioux Falls, which their offense kind of stagnated and went the opposite direction essentially. Julian Tyree just making very untimely interceptions, which unfortunately has been the story of the season so far, as he ticks it up now to 27, as we said earlier here. So Sioux Falls at this point at 1-8, it's a very tough road the rest of the way for them, and they're probably going to have to play spoilers the rest of the season. As for Las Vegas, I'd love to see this momentum carrying forward, because I think they can beat any team at this point with this momentum that they've had.
Yeah, you had 127 passing yards for Joseph Green, 224 for Julian Tyree, but he did have 3 interceptions. Joseph Green did have a touchdown pass. John Blades only had 5 yards on 1 reception. For Doug Britton, he had 70 yards on 4 receptions and a touchdown. Bovine had 2 receptions for 27 yards. Leading way for Sioux Falls was K. Marion, 86 yards on 6 receptions. You did have 62 yards from Gunnar Lewis on 6 receptions as well. 65 yards for Colin Hart, 131 for Scott Johnson, and 2 touchdowns as well. Tackler-wise for Las Vegas, 10 tackles for Slyn Shady. He also had 3 for a loss, 2 pass deflections, and an interception. Colin Trelli had 2 interceptions in this game, and Tom Creed with an interception. Colin Trelli had 2 interceptions. Tackling-wise, you had Terrell Davis and you had Buck Behemoth for Sioux Falls. As the player of the game is Scott Johnson. I don't have any doubts, anything wrong with that one. So on behalf of my analysts, Brett Solberg, Justin Rasad on stats, and of course the executive producer of the SFL, Cameron Irvine, I'm Jeff Melanishin. This has been a presentation of the Simulation Football League. And don't forget, the SFL continues next with Mexico City taking on Denver on Twitch, followed by Vancouver, Tulsa coming up on YouTube.